Jessica stared at the eviction notice, heart pounding. She'd worked 2 jobs, saved every penny, but one unexpected medical bill shattered everything. In the U.S., nearly 60% of bankruptcies stem from such crises. This was her wake-up call, the harsh truth that even the most careful can fall. But could she find a way back from the edge? The journey to rebuild was about to begin. Mark was a middle-aged man from Ohio, a hard-working father of 2 who had built a modest but comfortable life as a small business owner. Yet, despite his dedication, Mark found himself drowning in debt after the 2008 financial crisis hit. His story was far from unique. Across the United States, countless families faced similar plights, caught in a wave of bankruptcies that swept the nation. According to recent studies, the leading causes of personal bankruptcy include medical expenses, job loss, and excessive credit card debt, factors Mark painfully understood firsthand. After losing his primary contract, Mark's revenue plummeted, but his fixed costs remained. Creditors began calling relentlessly. Stress mounted as he juggled bills and worried about feeding his children. Many Americans don't realize how quickly financial stability can unravel. Data shows that 1 in 5 U.S. adults struggle to pay bills consistently, and about 40% would be unable to cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing or selling something. Experts emphasize that a combination of insufficient emergency savings, high debt, and economic shocks create the perfect storm. Mark's story illustrates this. Despite careful planning, external factors can push even responsible people into financial crisis. But understanding these causes is the first step toward prevention and recovery. Faced with mounting pressure, Mark began researching practical steps. Financial advisors recommend prioritizing essential expenses, negotiating with creditors, and seeking professional counseling. Mark learned to differentiate between wants and needs, cut unnecessary costs, and rebuild his credit slowly. He also found solace in community support groups for people recovering from bankruptcy, proving that emotional resilience is as crucial as financial literacy. While Mark's path was difficult, it was not hopeless. By acknowledging the root causes of his downfall and embracing expert advice, he set the foundation for recovery. His journey would show that failure is not final, but a painful yet instructive chapter in a longer story. Emily had always been proud of her small retail store in a quiet neighborhood in Michigan. It wasn't a sprawling business, but it was her dream and a steady source of income. For years, she managed to cover bills, pay employees, and set aside a little savings each month. Then, the unexpected hit, an economic downturn triggered by shifts in consumer behavior and a rise in online shopping led to a drastic drop in foot traffic. Slowly but surely, her revenue plummeted, while fixed costs like rent and utilities stubbornly remained. The pressure built, and soon Emily found herself behind on payments and drowning in credit card debt. She felt isolated, overwhelmed by the weight of her financial troubles. Bankruptcy loomed like a dark cloud, threatening to erase everything she had worked for. Emily wasn't alone. Across the U.S., millions face similar struggles every year. Data from the Federal Reserve shows that roughly 40% of American households would struggle to cover an unexpected $400 expense without borrowing or selling something. And medical bills, job loss, and high-interest debt remain among the top drivers pushing families into bankruptcy. Emily knew she had to act fast. The first step was facing the truth. She needed a clear picture of her finances. She created a detailed budget, listing every expense and income source, no matter how small. This gave her a wake-up call. She realized she was spending on non-essentials and that her debt payments were swallowing a large chunk of her income. With that clarity, she adopted the debt avalanche method, focusing on paying off debts with the highest interest rates first, which data shows can save thousands in interest payments over time. Next, she took the difficult step of contacting creditors. Many people avoid this, fearing rejection or penalties. But Emily discovered something surprising: creditors were often willing to negotiate. She explained her situation honestly and asked for lower interest rates and flexible payment plans. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, such proactive communication can significantly reduce the financial burden and help preserve credit scores. To avoid falling back into old habits, Emily enrolled in a credit counseling program offered by a nonprofit organization. The counselors helped her develop a realistic debt repayment plan and taught her essential financial habits, like tracking expenses and distinguishing needs from wants. Studies show that clients of certified credit counselors are more likely to successfully manage debt and avoid future financial crises. A crucial lesson Emily learned was the importance of building an emergency fund. Before her troubles, she had no savings to fall back on. Now, she committed to setting aside a small amount each month, aiming to reach 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. Financial advisors agree that this safety net is vital to weather unexpected storms without resorting to harmful debt. Over the course of a year, Emily's disciplined approach paid off. Her debts decreased, her credit score slowly recovered, and the anxiety that once consumed her began to fade. She even found ways to generate extra income by selling handmade crafts online and offering consulting for new small business owners, strategies that boosted her cash flow and confidence. Emily's journey shows that while the path out of debt is challenging, it is possible. With clear planning, honest communication, professional guidance, and a commitment to change, anyone can rebuild financial stability. Her story is a beacon of hope for the millions who find themselves lost in debt's grip. Carlos had always considered himself a careful spender. Growing up in a working-class family in Texas, he learned early the value of a dollar. He saved diligently, avoided unnecessary luxuries, and even took night classes on basic finance. Yet, despite his efforts, Carlos found himself trapped in a cycle of financial mistakes that many Americans unknowingly repeat. His story highlights a crucial truth: good intentions alone are not enough without financial education. When Carlos lost his job due to company downsizing, he initially thought his savings would be enough to cover the gap. But without a clear understanding of how to manage his finances during a crisis, he soon spiraled into costly errors. He took out payday loans with sky-high interest rates, dipped into retirement savings prematurely, and missed payments on his credit cards. These moves, while understandable in desperate times, worsened his situation. Research shows that nearly 70% of Americans lack basic financial literacy, which affects their ability to budget, save, and invest wisely. According to the FINRA Investor Education Foundation, individuals with low financial literacy are more likely to carry high-interest debt, incur overdraft fees, and struggle with retirement planning. Carlos's turning point came when he stumbled upon a free online financial education course offered by a nonprofit organization. The lessons went beyond simple budgeting. They covered credit management, investing basics, and long-term financial planning. This knowledge was empowering. He realized that avoiding mistakes wasn't about being frugal alone, but about making informed decisions. He started by tracking every expense with a budgeting app, gaining awareness of his spending patterns. Carlos created a realistic spending plan, prioritizing essentials and scheduling debt repayments. He learned the dangers of minimum payments on credit cards, a common trap that prolongs debt and inflates interest costs. Importantly, Carlos embraced the idea that financial education is ongoing. He subscribed to newsletters, listened to podcasts, and joined community workshops. This continuous learning helped him stay vigilant against scams, understand investment risks, and plan for emergencies. The impact was profound. Carlos's credit score improved as he paid down debt responsibly, and he gradually rebuilt his savings. With newfound confidence, he started investing small amounts in low-risk index funds, a strategy recommended by financial experts to build wealth steadily over time. Carlos's story demonstrates the transformative power of education. While systemic factors like job loss and economic downturns can derail anyone, understanding how money works provides a crucial defense. The more financially literate individuals are, the better equipped they become to avoid pitfalls and seize opportunities. In a country where financial literacy remains low, Carlos's journey is a testament to the difference that knowledge and proactive learning can make. His example encourages others to seek education as a foundational step toward lasting financial health. Sophia's story began like many others, juggling a full-time job and a side hustle to make ends meet in bustling Atlanta. Even with two incomes, unexpected expenses and rising living costs left her scrambling each month. She often wondered if there was a better way to create financial security beyond just working harder. That's when she discovered the power of multiple income streams and smart investing. For years, Sophia had focused solely on her salary, assuming it was enough. But data reveals that relying on a single income source is risky. According to a 2022 survey, nearly 60% of Americans have less than 3 months' worth of expenses saved, making them vulnerable to job loss or emergencies. Experts increasingly advocate for diversifying income, whether through side businesses, freelance work, or investments. Sophia started small. She took an online course on personal finance that emphasized the importance of earning and investing simultaneously. Inspired, she launched a freelance graphic design service on weekends, turning a hobby into extra income. This side hustle not only supplemented her paycheck but also built valuable skills and professional connections. Meanwhile, Sophia educated herself about investing. Rather than chasing get-rich-quick schemes, she focused on steady, long-term growth through low-cost index funds and dividend-paying stocks. These options, backed by decades of data, provide average annual returns of 7 to 10% while minimizing risk through diversification. To begin, Sophia set up automatic monthly contributions to her investment accounts, starting with just $100. This habit harnessed the power of dollar-cost averaging, reducing the impact of market volatility. Over time, her portfolio grew steadily, a crucial foundation for financial resilience. In addition to investing, Sophia explored passive income ideas. She rented out a spare room through short-term rental platforms and earned royalties from a digital photography portfolio she uploaded online. These ventures required effort up front but provided ongoing returns, reducing her dependency on traditional wages. Sophia's journey wasn't without challenges. Balancing work, side projects, and personal life demanded discipline and time management. There were moments of doubt, especially when markets dipped or projects slowed. But she kept focused on her long-term goals, adjusting strategies as needed and learning from setbacks. Financial advisors emphasize that building multiple income streams and investing wisely are among the most effective ways to achieve security and wealth. Sophia's story illustrates this perfectly. Diversification not only cushions against shocks but also creates opportunities for growth and independence. By shifting mindset from mere survival to proactive wealth building, Sophia transformed her financial outlook. Her story offers a roadmap for anyone seeking to break free from paycheck-to-paycheck living and build a sustainable future. After years of struggling through debt, job instability, and financial uncertainty, Michael found himself at a crossroads. Living in suburban Ohio, he had rebuilt some savings, started investing cautiously, and even dabbled in side businesses. But the real test came when he had to learn how to maintain long-term financial security, not just survive, but thrive sustainably. Michael's story reflects a vital lesson: financial recovery is only part of the journey. The ultimate goal is building a future resilient to economic shocks and capable of supporting personal goals like home ownership, education, and retirement. The first step Michael took was establishing a comprehensive financial plan. He sought advice from a certified financial planner who helped him set realistic goals, from paying off remaining debts to growing his investment portfolio and funding his children's college education. Studies show that people with financial plans are 2.5 times more likely to accumulate wealth over time than those without. Michael also focused on risk management. He ensured he had adequate insurance coverage, health, life, disability, and home insurance, to protect against unforeseen expenses. According to the Insurance Information Institute, lack of proper coverage can wipe out savings quickly and lead to financial ruin. Another pillar of his strategy was tax efficiency. By learning about tax-advantaged accounts like 401k IRAs, and HSAs, Michael maximized his savings and investment returns. These tools reduce taxable income and help money grow faster over time, a critical factor in long-term wealth building. Importantly, Michael prioritized continuous learning and adaptation. The financial landscape changes constantly: tax laws, investment products, economic conditions, so staying informed is essential. He joined local financial education groups and followed trusted advisors online to keep his knowledge current. Michael's disciplined saving and investing paid off. Over a decade, his net worth steadily increased, enabling him to buy a home outright and fund his children's college without debt. More than that, he felt secure, confident that he could weather future storms without falling back into crisis. His story demonstrates that financial security isn't a destination but a lifelong process requiring planning, protection, and education. By committing to these principles, anyone can transform hardship into a sustainable, prosperous future.